Have you ever wondered what incredible inventions were created, only to vanish before they could change the world? We're talking about game-changing technologies that were brilliant, proven to work, but for one reason or another, never made it into our hands. Today, we're diving into 10 amazing breakthroughs the world almost had. These aren't science fiction. They were real, tangible innovations that promise to reshape our future. From cars that run on water to wireless energy for everyone, get ready to be amazed by the incredible inventions that time forgot. First up, imagine a car that runs on water. It sounds impossible, right? Yet, a water-powered engine was not only designed, but reportedly demonstrated with promising efficiency. The concept revolved around using electrolysis to split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. The resulting hydrogen gas would then be burned as fuel, with the only emission being water vapor. Early tests were said to be successful, showing that a vehicle could indeed run on this incredibly clean and abundant source. So why aren't we all driving water-powered cars today? The project mysteriously stalled and never moved into mass production. The exact reasons are debated, but factors like high production costs, the energy required for electrolysis, and perhaps pressure from established industries likely played a role. The dream of a pollution-free commute powered by H2O remains just that, a dream. Next, let's talk about a man who was light years ahead of his time, Nikola Tesla. While he's famous for alternating current, one of his most ambitious projects was the Wardenclyffe Tower. This colossal structure wasn't just for show. It was designed to transmit electricity wirelessly across the globe. Imagine a world with no power lines, where energy could be beamed directly to homes, vehicles, and devices anywhere on the planet. Tesla believed his system could provide clean, cheap, and accessible power for everyone. He began construction, and the tower was a magnificent sight, but funding was a huge issue. His primary backer, J.P. Morgan, pulled out after realizing the system couldn't be easily metered. How do you charge for energy that's literally in the air? With his funds cut off, the project was abandoned, and the tower was eventually demolished. The world was simply not ready for Tesla's grand vision of a wireless future. From global energy to personal wellness, our next invention is equally fascinating. In the mid-20th century, a device that used specific light frequencies for wellness experiments gained significant attention. This machine, often called a beam ray or frequency generator, was based on the idea that every organism has a resonant frequency and that exposing it to the right light waves could have beneficial effects. Early proponents claimed remarkable results in their small-scale experiments, and there was a buzz of excitement around its potential. However, the technology was highly controversial and faced skepticism from the mainstream scientific community. Before it could undergo the rigorous, large-scale clinical trials needed to validate its claims, the device was discontinued and its research effectively shut down. We were left to wonder what might have been discovered if this unique approach to wellness had been fully explored. Now, let's tackle one of the most debated topics in modern physics, cold fusion. In the late 1980s, two scientists announced they had achieved nuclear fusion at room temperature using a simple tabletop device. This was monumental. Traditional fusion requires immense heat and pressure, like that found in the sun. Cold fusion promised a clean, limitless energy source without the radioactive waste of nuclear fission. Their initial experiments produced unexpected and unexplainable excess heat, suggesting a new kind of nuclear reaction. The announcement sparked a global frenzy, with labs around the world trying to replicate the results. Unfortunately, most failed to do so consistently, leading to widespread skepticism and accusations of flawed science. The research slowed to a crawl, funding dried up, and cold fusion became a cautionary tale in the scientific community. While research continues in niche circles, the dream of a cold fusion reactor in every home never materialized. Have you ever wished you could control things with your mind? Well, in the early days of brain-computer interfaces, a prototype headset was developed that could interpret simple brain signals. This wasn't telekinesis from a comic book. It was real science. The device used EEG sensors to detect electrical activity in the brain. By focusing on specific thoughts, a user could perform basic commands, like moving a cursor on a screen or controlling a simple switch. It was a rudimentary but revolutionary step toward a future where our thoughts could directly interact with technology. However, the technology was in its infancy. It was clunky, required intense concentration, and was prone to errors. It was an amazing proof of concept, but it was far from a consumer-ready product. As a result, the project was shelved and never saw a public release, though it laid the groundwork for the advanced neural interfaces being developed today. Long before Hyperloops became a buzzword, another high-speed transport system was being tested. Picture a train that floats on a cushion of air, propelled by powerful magnets, traveling at hundreds of miles per hour. This was the maglev, or magnetic levitation train. Decades ago, a full-scale prototype was built and tested, demonstrating that this futuristic mode of transport was entirely feasible. It promised to be faster, quieter, and more efficient than conventional railways. A journey that took hours could be cut down to minutes. So why don't we have a national maglev network? The biggest hurdle was the colossal cost. Building the specialized magnetic tracks across vast distances will require an astronomical investment that governments and private investors were unwilling to make. The project stopped before it could expand. And while a few short-distance maglev lines exist in the world, the dream of a continent-spanning magnetic railway remains on the drawing board. Our next invention takes us from massive infrastructure to microscopic tech. Imagine contact lenses that do more than just correct your vision. I'm talking about smart contact lenses with tiny integrated displays. Researchers in university labs successfully developed prototypes that could project images and text directly onto the wearer's eye. This could be used for heads-up displays, providing navigation, notifications, or even monitoring health data like glucose levels in real time. The lenses worked in a controlled lab setting, proving the concept was possible. However, several technical hurdles prevented their release. Powering the tiny device, ensuring biocompatibility, and manufacturing them at scale were immense challenges. The technology was simply ahead of its time, and the smart contact lenses that promised an augmented reality future were put on hold, remaining a tantalizing glimpse of what's to come. Here's one that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie: a synthetic oxygen-carrying liquid. Sometimes called liquid breathing, this perfluorocarbon-based fluid can dissolve huge amounts of oxygen, far more than blood plasma. In early experiments, subjects were able to breathe this oxygen-rich liquid. The potential applications were astounding, from helping premature babies with underdeveloped lungs to allowing deep-sea divers to avoid decompression sickness. It showed incredible promise in medical research and emergency applications. However, developing it for human use was incredibly complex. There were concerns about long-term effects and the mechanics of clearing the dense liquid from the lungs. While the research was groundbreaking, development paused before it could be approved for widespread medical use. The idea of breathing liquid remains a fascinating but unrealized medical breakthrough. Now for an invention that's almost invisibly small. A team of engineers created a functional camera the size of a single grain of coarse salt. This isn't just a tiny lens. It has a complete optical system with over 1.5 million cylindrical posts that work together to form a high-quality, full-color image. Its potential was enormous, from minimally invasive medical procedures where it could be guided through blood vessels, to creating tiny, unobtrusive security sensors, or even giving robots a new way to see the world. The camera functioned perfectly in tests, producing images far superior to other micro cameras. Despite its success, it hasn't become a mainstream product yet. The complexity of its manufacturing and the challenge of integrating it into other systems on a mass scale mean that, for now, this incredible piece of microengineering remains primarily in the lab. So there you have it, 10 revolutionary inventions that flickered into existence, showed us a glimpse of a different future, and then faded away. From water-powered cars to wireless energy and cameras smaller than a grain of salt, these breakthroughs were real. They highlight the long and difficult road from a brilliant idea to a product that we can all use. It makes you wonder what other incredible technologies are being developed in labs right now that we may never get to see. Which one of these lost inventions do you wish we had today? Was it Tesla's wireless power, the smart contact lenses, or something else? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts and ideas. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the world of forgotten tech, be sure to subscribe for more.